Draymond. As we all know, Draymond Green got suspended for the game against the Hawks without pay. They called it conduct detrimental to the team. That's why he got suspended without the pay, which is huge. I think he was out $120,000, which is what some people make in a year, which is more than what people make in a year. It's crazy the amount of money some of these guys lose being boneheaded. But it's just like now we're starting to hear more things like Draymond called KD a derogatory name in the locker room. Basically called him the B word. What is Draymond trying to accomplish? Now there's talks about the situation being all about KD's free agency. Well, Kevin Durant was a free agent last year as well. So what's the difference between this year and last year? Or is it that you feel that KD could actually really leave the team this year instead of last year? Do you not want to win another championship? What is it that you're doing? Because some people are coming to Draymond's defense saying, well, KD was talking to him like a scrub, and he was saying, KD said, throw me the ball, like Draymond was a scrub, and he didn't like that. That's why he went in the locker room and challenged him. And it wasn't just KD that challenged Draymond's thinking. Look at Klay Thompson when Draymond made a bad play. Even in the locker room, other guys were coming to Draymond like, hey, that wasn't right. And then now there's reports that Stephen Curry went to Draymond's house to try to calm him down and stuff like that. So even though Draymond is in the wrong, like, let's get that clear. Draymond's in the wrong here, 100%. You know, first of all, he should have passed KD the ball because what he did, turn the ball over, he didn't even attempt a shot. That was ridiculous. Then trying to defend yourself, I can understand because it's your passion. You guys are passionate about winning. That makes sense. But then going to the locker room, calling them the B word, and also questioning the man's free agency, which is none of your business, is absolutely ridiculous. You don't own him. You see what I'm saying? And that's kind of the issue with the Golden State Warriors. They understand, like, KD can leave. They don't own him. And they're trying to do everything to keep everything copacetic. Now, some people could say, well, the organization as a whole are acting like a hypocrite because when Draymond Green almost got into a fight with Steve Kerr, he was trying to fight Steve Kerr. They didn't suspend him without pay. But now they're saying because he called KD a B, the organization is protecting KD from Draymond, and they're trying to send a message like, hey, you know, we're trying to do everything to keep KD here. Duh. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, first of all, Draymond Green shouldn't be calling any of his teammates the B word because they all been through the trenches together. They all suffered horrible losses together, and besides KD, and they all came up together strong. So the fact that he's picking on the guy that's basically the best player on the team, the guy that's been the progenitor or the catalyst for most of their success as recently, I'm saying recently, in the NBA Finals and stuff like that, you can't come at him like that. You see what I'm saying? Because KD has a legitimate gripe with the fact that Draymond Green didn't pass on the ball. Draymond Green shouldn't go crazy and act nuts because the guy said, you should have thrown me the ball. I wanted the ball. It's a normal reaction. He's the best scorer on the team. He wants the ball in that situation. It shouldn't spill over to the locker room where you can't even admit that you're wrong. And that's kind of the thing with Draymond Green sometimes. He won't admit he's wrong until it's like way too late. Like with the NBA Finals thing, he always says like, you know, I was wrong, but he'll say like, I wouldn't take it back. Like why wouldn't you take it back? If you take it back, maybe you win 3 in a row. It doesn't make sense what you're saying. So he has like a stubbornness to him, which makes him so great, but also could be his downfall. Where people are saying that the organization is acting like basically a bitch because they're trying to keep KD. I fully disagree with that. I think at the end of the day, the only person that's acting like a bitch in the whole situation or acting up in the situation is Draymond Green himself. You can't get mad at somebody, especially when they're better than you. Only thing that Draymond does better than KD is basically play defense. But KD has him in all other facets of the game. Franchise player, MVP, finals MVP. He has him in all facets of the game. You can't get mad at somebody who's telling you something that's for the benefit of the team. And then you bring up the guy's his free agency. It was absolutely ridiculous. you're completely out of line. It's like completely disrespectful. Like all he said was, "Give me the ball." He didn't say, "Give me the ball, you B word, you know you're a chump. That's why they ain't gonna pay you next year." He didn't say nothing like that to that effect. So the point that everybody's missing here, because you know I originally did the video, whose side are you on? But in this case, there's only one side, and that's the side of right. And we can understand that you guys are arguing. That makes sense, whatever the case is. But when you're going to the man's free agency, talking about that man's money, and like Michael Irvin said, "Oh my God, when you talk about somebody's money, you don't do that." You know, it's like Michael Irvin. You guys got to find that video. He's talking about how the guys were talking about Le'Veon Bell from the Pittsburgh Steelers, but that's the same thing with what Draymond Green's doing. You don't talk about somebody else's money, their free agency. That's their personal business. That's their decision that they made. I mean, KD already made. It could have been like one of the worst decisions in his career if they didn't win, especially that first year, like what happened with LeBron in Miami. That would have killed KD's career for the rest of his life. I mean, his legacy supposedly took a hit, but now that you're looking at it 3 years later, you're like, okay, 2 championships, 2 Finals MVP. It all makes sense. Everything fell in line. You might not like the decision, but the decision led to success. Now, like, what if, you know, he took a big risk? Because what if he never won anything with the Warriors and they lost? So, you know, Draymond has to really cool it in this case. And I'm a big fan of Draymond Green. I'm a big fan of Kevin Durant. I'm a big fan of, like, that nucleus, because it's something we never seen before. But for you to allow your ego to go to get this big, you know, he doesn't understand. He's on the Beatles. He's on the Rolling Stones right now. He's on the Rock when the Rock was, you know, popping. He's on those crazy teams, those crazy waves that we've never seen before, and he's like really spewing it away because I know what he's thinking. I'm Draymond Green. I need a max contract. I'm gonna be the man, and you know I need to get my money any means necessary. But at the same time, it's like not to the detriment of your team. I know you want your money. They know they can't all keep you guys, but you know, bottom line, rubber to the road. If they have to make a choice between KD and Draymond, who would you keep? I understand that Draymond won championships with the team before KD, but honestly speaking, who would you keep? Would you keep Draymond Green, or would you keep a guy that could basically do everything on the court, score, Finals MVP, and you could keep the trio or the splash? Or would you keep Draymond Green? Somebody that actually cost you NBA Finals. So I'm just saying that the nuclear option here, do you get rid of KD and keep Draymond Green, or do you keep KD? I mean, honestly, it's a no-brainer to me, but maybe for you guys, it's something you got to think about, or whatever the case is. So Draymond really has to be easy, because honestly speaking, if let's just say they don't pay him and they get rid of him or whatever, but they keep KD, they keep Clay, they keep Steph, now that opens up room for them to get more depth. Now they could actually put Iguodala back in the starting lineup. Now they could actually go out and sign other free agents, you know what I'm saying, to nice little deals, whatever, get a bench back up again, and it be an even deeper team than they are right now, because right now they're not that deep. They're just super talented. So he really needs to cool it. He needs to pump the jets on all of this bravado and rah-rah, calling guys B's for nothing. It was really for nothing. Like, I've seen this argument on the court multiple times. You should have gave me the ball. I wanted the ball. What the hell were you doing? What was that? What was that? And, you know, guys, they argue for a bit. Then after a while, the guy said I'm wrong, and that's it. Like, I never seen it to the point where you got to call somebody the B word. You got to question their free agency. He's just doing way too much. He's doing way too much. Either he feels like the writing's on the wall and KD's leaving, or he feels like the writing's on the wall and he's going to be out of there. So I might as well go out with a bang. Because, you know, I understand I'm never going to back down, whatever the case is. But now you get suspended for a game. Let's just say it's a playoff game, and he's saying, like, hey, throw me the ball, and you get mad, and the whole thing replays itself again. You can't get yourself suspended for a playoff game. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And, you know, that just shows you how important Steph is in the whole mix, because Steph is like the glue guy that keeps everybody happy. He knows to get these guys the ball. You know, Draymond would gladly throw him the ball and not cry and whine about it. So You know, I mean, I understand where Draymond is coming from. Like, I don't like to be talked to like I'm a scrub, but he didn't talk to you like a scrub. It's just your ego. The multiple championships was kind of going to his head, and that's kind of the thing where a lot of people don't understand this. And Steve Kerr could probably tell his team this: when you win a championship, the next year, you can't walk in there like I'm the man. I won the championship. You gotta walk in there like I ain't nothing. I didn't win anything because that was last year. That's not right now. Get that through your head. That was last year. That was the year before last or whatever for Draymond Green. 2 back-to-back championships. This year, you got to earn your keep all over again. So you don't earn it that way by questioning somebody else's free agency and doing all that. To me, he's just doing too much. People could say that the organization, this is all about the organization keeping KD and that's why they suspended him. But at the end of the day, it's a boil over. You try to get a fight with Steve Kerr. You get suspended with the whole thing with LeBron in the finals. And it's like now we got a good rhythm. We got a good lather. Everything is basically going really well. And you still fight. Like, at the end of the day, you need to do something about this aggression. You need to get some anger management. You need to do something to calm yourself down, especially when it comes to your own teammates. Like, these guys aren't against you. They're just telling you things that are for you. And it's just very awkward and weird to see somebody do this to their own teammates. When in all actuality, they're only there for you guys to be successful. It's not like, you know, they're not saying anything that anybody else wouldn't say to him anywhere else. Even especially pickup. Only people that wouldn't say anything to Draymond in a situation like this is if he's on like a sub 500 team and they just going through the motions. But any team that's concerned about winning, building good habits, especially for the playoffs, they will say, Draymond, you gotta get on the ball. So that shouldn't come up to you're a bitch. Your free agency's coming up. You're not really gonna be here. So what does it matter? Like it's too much. It's too much. It sounds like a woman. Like he's like a woman arguing with her husband about nonsense sometimes. So we'll see how it is. Let me know how you feel about the suspension. Was it a case of Warriors protecting KD? Or was it a situation where Draymond Green is trying to really protect himself and protect his ego? Hoops Junction, where hoops meets hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.